Many Christians skim over the profound messages in Genesis 1. I honestly find this chapter so enriching and fascinating. So let's delve in verse by verse today on Study Sunday. Okay, let's get into this. Verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Verse 1 boldly declares that everything that we can see around us was created by God. This world is not random, but something intricately designed with a purpose. When we observe nature, the complexity and harmony all point to a creator. Some scientists propose theories like evolution or the Big Bang. There are some aspects of science that raise questions about these explanations. For example, systems like the blood clotting cascade as well as the bacterial flagellum. These systems are so intricately complex that if any part were removed, they wouldn't even be able to function. This challenges the idea that such systems gradually evolved over millions of years. Additionally, discoveries like soft tissue found in dinosaur bones has actually sparked debate. Proteins in such tissue would not be able to survive over those millions of years, suggesting a younger age for these remains, which points more to the idea of creation rather than evolution. Verse 2 answers a question that scientists can't even answer. They talk about matter exploding for the Big Bang to take place, but can't explain where this matter actually comes from. Verse 2 reads, "Now the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters." Did you catch that? Unlike humans who need raw materials to craft things, God created the earth from nothing. He created matter. This answers the question of where did matter come from. God's power is supernatural, right? We don't have to put God into a box. He can do things that exceed something that is natural, exceeds the things that we can do. We don't have to fully be able to understand this concept of how he created the world, right? And if we did fully understand it, then would we be as powerful as God? We can't understand everything that God does because he is way more powerful than us and has probably a better understanding of the earth than we would ever have. He spoke order into existence, showing his omnipotence. Let's move on to verse 3. Verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. In verse 3, God says, "Let there be light," and God creates light independent from the sun. Let's continue to read verse 4 and 5 before we explain all these verses together. Verse 4 and 5 says, "God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day." God is able to establish light and day without the sun or the moon. Many people will be confused by this and not understand how this is even possible. But we need to understand that God works beyond our natural laws. He is an all-powerful God, not bound by the understanding that we have for the universe. There are other parts of the Bible, like the plagues in Egypt, where there is a part of Egypt where there is sun and there is light, and there's a part that was literally plunged into darkness. There was light without the sun, and there was darkness without the sun or the moon. Isn't it amazing that when we pray, we're praying to a God capable of these wonders? So let's move on and read verses 6 to 8. "And God said, 'Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water.' So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, and the second day." This verse is one of my favorite verses in the entire book of Genesis because it's so interesting. Separated the waters above and the waters below, which were on the earth. Some creation scientists believe that the water above created a vapor layer, a vapor canopy around the earth. This vapor canopy blocks any harmful UV rays from getting to the humans, extending their lifespans. Which would make sense because people in early biblical accounts actually lived for hundreds or even thousands of years. After the great flood, God said, "Let's release the waters." He released the waters from the vapor canopy and from below. The vapor canopy was no longer there, which means these harmful UV rays were no longer being blocked, decreasing our lifespans. Right, let's read verses 9 to 10. Verse 9. "And God said, 'Let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place, and let the dry ground appear.' And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good." God transforms the earth, which was just initially a big round ball of water, into the earth by placing dry land. He calls this earth good, emphasizing the perfection in his creation. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds. And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seeds according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good." God creates fully grown plants with seeds already in them. He doesn't wait for the seeds to grow, he plants them in their adult form. He makes a self-sustaining system showing his wisdom. Let's read verses 14 to 17. And God said, "Let there be light in the vault of the sky to separate the day from night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years, and let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in a vault of the sky to give them light on the earth. God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. And this verse also answers a very, very big question in science. So scientists would say that the sun just randomly got placed in the perfect position where it's not too close to us to burn us, but not too far away where it's too cold to live. But God said that he set the sun in place. He made sure to position it there so that it can sustain us. God deliberately set everything in place for our own benefit. Let's read verses 24 to 25. Verse 24. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. God creates species according to their kinds, establishing boundaries between each different life form. While some microevolutionary changes occur within species, like variations in a bird's beak, there's not going to be some type of evolution where one kind of animal goes into another kind of animal through millions of years in the theory of evolution. There is no solid evidence that one animal can go to another animal in a million years. Obviously, a bird is not going to turn into a dog over millions of years. In Genesis, God says that he created everything to his own kind, and nothing's going to go from one kind to another.
Pause the video, have a read of these verses and make some notes.
We were all created equally in God's image. Do you know how special this makes us? Not even the angels were created in God's image. This means that all life is special and all life is valuable, right? We all have a special purpose in this world. And one thing that I want you to take away is that when you go and pray tonight, remember that you're praying to the creator of the universe. So whatever problems that you might be facing, right, they're not going to be impossible for God to solve. Remember, he is supernatural. So thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you understand Genesis just a bit more and uncover some of its truths. Stay blessed and make sure to stick around for the next Study Sunday. Thank you.